Unscripted, unshackled, uncouth.
What you're about to hear is for more mature audiences only.
It's Miguel and Holly, Uncensored.
Hello and welcome to Miguel and Holly Uncensored. This is our off-air podcast that we do 3 times a week on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And we would love for you to share the podcast with someone else.
Yeah, because, sometimes you want something to listen to and maybe your friend does and they're like, I got nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Wait a minute, Miguel and Holly Uncensored. That's something.
Absolutely. So share that or Miguel and Holly Full Show podcast, Miguel and Holly Queen City Confessions, or Blown Off, any of those, and leave a review. We'd greatly appreciate it. Kelvin is out today. He's at a bachelor party in New Orleans.
About to get wild, I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
Just live vicariously through his Instagram.
Yes, I haven't been to New Orleans in a long time, too. I would love to go. The food there is just next level.
Yeah, and just the amount of alcohol that you can just purchase off the street.
Like just walking down the street, here's a hurricane. Bam.
The last time I was there, I got like a giant hurricane in one of those like big tubs with like 15 straws. Obviously, this was pre-COVID. I don't know if they do this anymore.
Right.
But like everybody was just drinking out. Like you had your own straw. But I don't really know if that helps or anything.
No, because everybody's just, that's like, I always get a little freaked out when you go to like a bar and they have like those fish bowls that will have like 5 straws in them. And I'm always like,
yes, I actually randomly, God, the synchronicity, like in my Facebook memories or somebody else's Facebook memories, I was commenting because my friend Liz was like, oh my God, look at that. And I was like, is that a fishbowl from that one bar in BG? Because that was like Bowling Green was a different university in Ohio, just north of mine. And so she went to BG and there was one bar in BG that was notorious for fish bowls. And she had a picture of it. I was like, good God. That was this week. We just talked about fish bowls.
Oh my gosh. Well, he's about to be in all the fish bowls, but those always freak me out because especially as people get more tipsy and the backwash that goes back into it and you have 5 people. So that's 5 people's backwash, and then it gets down to like the bottom, and then like is somebody gonna finish it off and drink everybody? Who's gonna be the receptacle of the
somebody drinks the bottom.
Someone always drinks the bottom.
They don't care though. Listen, the amount of horrendous shit that I've drunk in my life, but I'm still here.
Yeah.
A little germs between friends. Really questionable things. I mean, truly.
Well, today's going to be a little bit of a shorter podcast because I have my cousin's wedding tomorrow in Atlanta, and Abe and I have to get a haircut. Then we have to get on the road. And I thought I was like super ahead of schedule. I dropped all of our suits, because they've been sitting around in my car for like 3 months since we moved. And I've had like 3 suits of ours, like 5 dress shirts, all these things, sitting back in my car for dry cleaning and just haven't gotten to it. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do it. I did it last week. So there was no like, we're closed or something. And I was like, look, we're ahead of schedule. I got everything back on Tuesday. And then my cousin called me yesterday and we were chatting and she was like, oh yeah, don't forget it's all black. And I was like, what? I'm sorry, what?
You're like, it's what now?
Who? So we have to either here in Charlotte or in Atlanta, if we can't rummage through our closet and find black things for this wedding tomorrow.
When you say black things, like there's not a lot of things you can find. Like you got to have a suit or a tux, I'm assuming.
Yeah. I mean, I have to call my mom and see. So I didn't get the invitation officially.
Yeah.
One, because I messed up and didn't RSVP through the email in the fall. But then she sent the invitation. But apparently in Atlanta, there's this huge pileup of mail and people aren't getting stuff with the mail, the USPS in Atlanta for some reason. Like my mom just got a letter on Tuesday from March 6th. And it was April
something
10th on Tuesday or whatever. Oh yeah. It's been a month. And apparently the news has done stories about it and they can't figure out what the issue is and why things aren't getting to people in Atlanta or out.
That's really stressful because if it can happen in Atlanta, it can happen like the U.S. Postal Service is like kind of a big deal that we really take for granted.
100%. Like if there was a flip of a switch and it went down for even just a day, when it's not supposed to, that would
Right.
fuck up a lot of things.
I know. So yikes on that.
So
But
yeah, so
anyway, you don't know. You didn't
no,
get the invitation.
I did not. So we got to figure out what we're gonna do. So today's podcast, I'm gonna call it TikTok leftovers. So I'll like post TikToks or I'll save a TikTok to post on my story at some point, and then I don't, or it's something that when I've had an edible and I'm like, this is really funny, but then I save it because I want to see if it's funny actually the next day.
Oh, I should go through my saved ones because they're usually what I think at the moment, like poignant, and I'm gonna cry about it. And yeah. I don't ever go back and look.
Well, I did this week somehow, and so I was like, oh, let's present those today. That'll be a short little podcast.
Okay.
All right, let me pull up my folder here. So actually, this was something that we talked about on the show, and it was going to be my Can't Let It Go for this week. It's a thing we do on the show. Holly, do you want to explain Can't Let It Go?
Yeah, it's anything that you're just hanging on to mentally. I mean, something could have happened early on in the week or the week prior, and it's just been floating, living rent free in your head, if you will. And it could be anything. It could be something going on in your personal life, or it could be a form of media or something political. Who knows? Whatever. Runs the gamut.
All right, let me share this with you.
So this was going to be your Can't Let It Go, but it wasn't.
It wasn't, because I talked about a charcuterie board.
But I did talk about this in What's Trending.
Yes, and so this is what's called a fart walk. And this is Marilyn, the Queen of Fiber, explaining what a fart walk is.
Going for a fart walk after dinner is something that's going to help you age wonderfully. And if you follow me, you know that my husband and I go for fart walks most nights after dinner. So about 60 minutes after we've eaten, we put on our running shoes and off we go. Now, why do we do this? Well, we eat a lot of fiber, so we have gas. Oh, everybody does. And you fart when you walk. So that's why I named it that. But the main reason that we do the fart walks is because by walking for as little as 2 minutes, we usually walk for about 10, 15, 20, but not really quickly. It's more of a moderate walk. We are helping reduce our chances of developing type 2 diabetes. Why? Well, because walking is helping maintain our blood sugars, keeping them from ricocheting all around. And as you age, especially after 40, you have a bigger chance of developing type 2 diabetes. So these little things you do on a regular basis that can have a really big impact on your long-term health. So sign yourself up for fart walks. I invented the hashtag.
Oh my God.
Yes, so on my grave, Marilyn Smith, the fart walk inventor. Yeah, you know what? It's fun to be famous for something.
I'm loving this Marilyn Smith. She just sounds like a hoot and a half.
She reminds me of Michelle Pfeiffer. She looks kind of like a very like stately, because Michelle Pfeiffer is getting older as well. But that lady reminds me of how she looks, like an older lady that just very beautiful.
Oh my gosh, gorgeous.
And that very like sultry tone almost. And she's over here, she's like, yeah, we fart.
The fart walk.
I
want to go to fart walk. And you know, that's something that Abe, like we're on the air, my husband, that's just like my automatic behind a microphone.
No, it's good. You should do that.
By the way, so what I'm referring to is on the radio. You know how like when you watch The Bachelor or Survivor or Big Brother, and every time a new contestant pops up or Love is Blind, it'll be like, Holly, single, 34, mother of 2, and it describes you, and it will do that the whole season just because you never know who's coming in. We do that audibly when we're on the show. How do I say auditory?
I would just say we do it verbally.
We do it verbally on the show. So that's why you always hear me, Abe, my husband.
Right.
Right. Little radio trade secret.
Trade secret. You got to do it. I get onto Kelvin, not to like pick on him because he's not here. But I would tell him to his face too, like he's not good at that. No,
he'll be like, Oscar.
He'll be like that. So anyway, Oscar and I from this weekend, and I'm like, your fiance Oscar and I went to a farmer's market this weekend. Now go. Like, so it is actually difficult to remember to do it though.
Because it's not natural to do it. And so it's something that takes a long time. And this was like hammered into us like 15 years ago. And
Yeah.
so for us, obviously, as we're talking, it's just second nature for me to do. I don't even think about it. But for him, as he's still learning all these little behind the scenes things like that, it's so funny when he does it. And we're like, oh, you mean your fiance?
Yeah.
And he's like, God damn it. Yes, my fiance.
Yeah.
But Abe and I were going to start doing walks after dinner when we lived in Uptown because it's the downtown
well, that
area.
would have been a nice area to do it in.
Right. But then like we did it like once or twice and then I got lazy and I was like, well, then we got to get in the elevator. And then like I'm in my pajamas because like we eat and we're in pajamas and we're watching a show. So now I got to go change to get on the elevator and then go downstairs and hashtag first world problems. But I was thinking after, because the reason why I saved this right before bed, I think on Tuesday or Wednesday, when I saw this TikTok, and I was like, maybe I need to change my like nighttime attire to where we could easily just eat and then pause the show once we're done. And then just go, because Marilyn said it's just a 5 or 10 minute walk. I didn't have to
it's not
break a
long
sweat
walk.
or anything.
Right.
But like, are you like loud farting or are you like silent farting?
I mean, it depends on what kind of gas it is. You know, it depends because some toots are just little whispers,
Right.
and
right.
some toots want to say that they're there.
Mm-hmm.
You ever? I have a trick, right? Like
What? I'm afraid. I'm so afraid.
you ever want to like toot at home, but you don't want anybody to know you did it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't like to toot in front of people. Like even my own daughter, who, by the way, farts all the time on me, near me, at the table, and she just no shame. And
She don't care.
I'm so impressed by that because the level of self-confidence it takes to just rid yourself of gas, which you should be doing, by the way. Like
Right.
I have made myself sick by holding it in over the course of my life because I'm so mortified about it. But anyway, if you want to, like, I'm sure you do this too, right? Like if you're somewhere and you're like, ooh, I have to toot, but you don't want anyone to hear you toot, right? You just like move your butt cheek. Like you just kind of like
lift up a cheek a little bit.
Yeah, but you have to like physically move. You can't just lift your butt up. Like you have to make sure the cheeks are separated. So that it can just go instead, because you know why it's allowed to, because it's got to like ripple your butt apart and be like to get out. So you just make it easier
to let the air out.
Air escape quietly.
Right.
Every time.
So I absolutely know what you're talking about, because in a public bathroom, like let's say I've done number 2, but then there's still some gas, but then like someone here, you know, especially in the morning, like between like 4:30 when I get here and about 8:30 before the rest of the staff gets here, we know everybody who's in this building. If there's only 4 guys in here.
I know. There's a very limited amount of people.
Right. And so you know it's going to be Miguel, Jeff from Cat Country, or Woody and Wilcox, or Kelvin that's here. Yeah. And so what I'll do is if like I've done number 2 and I'm like, you know, see if there's more and I'm like, oh, I think it's just gas, I will spread my butt cheeks if someone walks in and just let the air come out when I'm sitting on the toilet. So it'll just go.
Wait. While we're on the topic of spreading your butt cheeks on the toilet, I think about this a lot. I do that every time I go to the bathroom.
Oh, really? You spread your butt cheeks every time?
Every time.
Wait, why do you do it every?
Sitting down, it's almost like my dress, but it's not. It's my butt.
So wait, every single time you sit down and you just go, whoop,
and then
That's the clip. Hold on. I need to write it down. No, it's going to lead right up to it. Since Kelvin's not here and I have to do it quickly today. So that was at 14 minutes in. Okay, got it.
Oh, good.
That's the tease clip for today. I might even put that on the reel this weekend.
But there's a reason.
Right.
There's a reason when you do that. And I mean, it's mainly for peeing. I mean, yes, it works for number 2 as well. But like mainly for peeing too. I do that when I sit down. Otherwise, I don't understand how anyone is not doing this, because if you just like as a lady, if you just plop down on the toilet and start peeing with your thigh meat and your butt shoved into that toilet hole, like the pee is gonna get everywhere. I don't understand how everyone's not doing this. And I always think to myself, am I the only one that does this? Does anyone else pee the way I do? Because like I'm making space. Like I'm like getting all of my like out of the way. So that way it just drops out. And then because I'm like, if you don't do that, doesn't pee get everywhere?
Yeah. I don't know.
You? I need to look at the comments now because
I'm about to say
I'm talking like insane right now.
No. We had Sherry said, I thought I was the only one who knew that trick.
Well, that was about spreading your butt cheeks to toot.
Heather said same. Yep. It's the only way to go.
I don't know, Heather, if you're talking about the peeing or the tooting, but either way, I appreciate you.
Mary said, oh my God, I never thought to spread my butt cheeks. I'm dying over here. And then Joe, I said, of course, under the chat when you're talking about farts and butt cheeks.
I don't know. Like, I just feel like if I don't make some room and like let that area just like let the pee come out, it's a mess.
So, okay, we're going to be very vulnerable. And I don't want any judgments here because I've never said this out loud before to anyone, but I've thought about it a few times. So, like, obviously, when you watch a movie or anything like that, or not even a movie, but like, I'm trying to think. Or yeah, because some movies will show it. Like if someone uses the bathroom and they like wipe and they just like, they just go like, oop, and they just wipe their butt or whatever. And then they like flush the toilet. I'm like, when I go to the bathroom,
yeah,
it is a process. Like it's not like, because I want to make sure everything's clear, you know? So like I have like, you know, and also depends on, you know, what you've eaten and like what your digestive system has done, you know? And so sometimes it's like 4 or 5 or 6 wipes that I'm going to make sure everything's all clear. And then sometimes I'm like, well, let's spread the butt cheeks too, just to make sure. But when I see people, because my butt is really big and like to get back there properly, you've got to like spread a cheek to like properly get back there. But
who's not spreading cheeks to wipe number 2?
Okay, I just wanted to make sure because I've always been self-conscious about it.
Clearly, my cheeks are already spread because I'm doing it every time.
But then when you get up to wipe, like you have to
get up to wipe.
What do you just? Where do you put your hand? You just like in between your legs?
Yes.
Wait, so you?
But I don't have the
right. Like I can't.
The twig and berries. Like it's in the way. So I think men and women might have to wipe differently. I go because like as a woman, you got to wipe front to back. You can never wipe back to front.
Front to back. Oh,
front to back.
Right,
you have to wipe front to back. And some women may go from behind to get front to back that way. But I go from the front to back. And throw it in. But my butt's. Hold
on, I need to get off camera so I can see. I don't want to do it on camera. Hold on, let me see. Wait. Oh yeah, I go front to back.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. I didn't want to.
What is this podcast?
I'm so self-conscious right now. Okay.
I know, and I'm even more self-conscious because Mary Lewis in the chat was like, no, Holly, pee does not get everywhere. Like
maybe
Mary,
I'm made differently. Well, listen,
everybody's
why are you
coming at me.
Everyone's made differently. Well, that's like how some guys can go up to the urinal and like just like unzip and then they just have their hands on their hips and just let it go.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know if you're working with like a oak tree or something, but like I have to hold mine to pee or else it'll spray everywhere.
I don't have a penis. But I feel like shouldn't you have to hold it? Because
but I don't know.
You're the dude that's making a mess if you're not, right?
That's why I've always wanted to know because I've been to there was someone, was it here or in Tampa? No, it was in Tampa. It was Fisher from the Eagle. Oh, I probably shouldn't be saying that.
I was like, you just put his whole name out with your chest.
But because I remember now, I would walk in the bathroom and he would just be like that. It's just hands on his hips.
That is wild.
And I sometimes wanted to be like, Bitch, not in a sexual way, but what are you working with? Because like you're just standing there. I can't do that. Anyway, okay, so there's bathroom talk for 20 minutes. Sorry.
I feel like I could talk about that a lot because I just don't ever talk about it with anyone.
No, that's just you don't ever because I always feel embarrassed. All right, moving on to if you're just joining us now, it's TikTok leftovers, things that have been saved in my phone. I think I find this funny even while not taking an edible. It is this woman that just came across my TikTok one day.
Okay.
It's this country club, I think, golf club in Palm Beach, Florida.
Okay.
And they have this woman who is like the spokesperson for it. And so she'll get all glammed up and she'll be like in front of a golf cart or in front of one of the holes or whatever. And she's like, hi, welcome to Martin Downs Golf Club. You should come. But the way she does it, I'm like, this bitch needs to be on TV.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm ready. Oh, what is this?
Just watch.
Come down, Martin Downs. Book your tea time with our pro shop. You won't be disappointed. Have a great day, and it's always a beautiful day at Martin Downs.
Oh no.
So her talking is funny, but then you have to see as she's like walking like a model towards the camera, and then she like whips her hair behind her and she's like posing at the camera.
I know, but none of it is smooth.
No.
That's what you're missing if you're not watching it. None of it is, it's all very unfortunately stilted.
Hi, everyone.
Not another one. Oh, God.
Here's another one. I'm obsessed with this lady right here. Okay, hold on.
Oh.
Hi, everyone. Join us tonight here at Martin Downs Golf and Country Club. We are hosting karaoke night at 5:30. It's going to be a fun night of music and singing and entertainment.
Oh no. You know what? I'm trying. This is me cycle breaking. I'm taking my judgment hat off.
Mm-hmm.
This is something that she wants to do.
Yes.
And God bless her for doing it.
100%.
Cycle breaking.
And
cycle breaking.
Absolutely. And I'm not making fun of her. Like, I am just obsessed that this woman is like, I am the Martin Downs Golf Club spokeswoman.
She's the golf club queen.
And you will come and obey me. And like the comments, people are like praising her. They're like, it's so bad that it's so good. And like
maybe that's what it is.
Right.
I don't know if she knows it's bad.
I don't think she does.
Okay.
I don't think she does. But that's what makes it so fantastic.
That's true. Interesting.
All right. So here's the last little leftovers. Then we've got to jet. This is just a really cool, sweet story that I found on TikTok that I talked about this morning, Holly, when you did your Can't Let It Go about the eclipse.
Yeah.
And this is the story that I found. It's about a minute and a half, but it's really, really sweet. Listen.
Okay. A teacher that promised his class in 1978 that they'd watch the solar eclipse together has fulfilled that promise 46 years later, and the event ended up being much more emotional for him than he ever anticipated. In 1978, Pat Moriarty was in his first year teaching junior high school science in Webster, New York. After a lesson on eclipses, he told his class that the next time their town was in the path of a total solar eclipse, he'd host a watch party for all of them. He said that his students looked at him like he was crazy at the time, because the next time that the area would experience a total solar eclipse was in 2024, nearly half a century away. Still, Mr. Moriarty continued to invite every single class each year to his future watch party. At the time, he told them that he'd publish an announcement about it in the newspaper, unless there was a better way to reach people by the time 2024 rolled around. He ended up organizing it on social media, and he hoped that just a couple passionate former students might show up. But to his complete surprise, over 100 actually came, equipped with lawn chairs, champagne, and their old yearbooks. Former students traveled from all over the country to attend, and Mr. Moriarty says that the eclipse itself ended up taking a back seat to what this was really all about, and that seeing everyone come together was even more impactful than the rare phenomenon in the sky.
Man, that is beautiful.
I like teared up watching that. Like, that was just so amazing to me.
Mm-hmm. Yes, the generations that have been impacted by one man. Not many people get the opportunity to see in such a tactile way the impact that they've had. That's really incredible for that man.
Yeah, it really brought home how much the teachers that I grew up with mean to me. And there's one that like I still see on social media, Dr. Seward from my 2-year college. She was my theater teacher, and her husband, Dr. Fisher, was our English teacher or professor.
Mm-hmm.
And they both like took me under their wing in different ways. With her, she was the theater and speech teacher. And so she's the one that sort of helped me learn how to like focus my thoughts.
Yeah.
When I'd be public speaking, and also helped me learn my creative side, because I directed a play underneath her before and starred in some things with her. And Dr. Fisher, who's since passed away, he's the first person that gave me confidence in my writing, because at the time I was the editor of the school newspaper, and I would like have 3 or 4 people proofread my stuff because I wasn't super confident. And then one time he pulled me aside and he was like, Miguel, the editor that was before you who thought he was hot shit, who went off to like UGA, University of Georgia, and was trying to be the editor of their big school newspaper there, he was like, you write better than him. So don't ever let anyone tell you. And I will never get sitting in his office and like tearing up and being like, me? Really?
Mm,
And I was just so impactful. And teachers like that just leave a mark on you for so long.
absolutely.
Holly, what's your social media?
Radio Holly on Instagram, on TikTok, on Threads, on Twitter X. And if you type in Holly O'Connor, there is a page that you can like on Facebook too.
And if Holly, you want to bring some TikToks in next week too, if you find some.
I mean, mine are a little wild, especially if I get them when I've been drinking and other things.
Yeah,
I
bring 'em
have
out.
some great TikToks saved though, and I've been I don't know what we call it on TikTok, but sharing,
Yeah.
reposting,
Mm-hmm.
some really interesting ones. So yeah, okay, I'll go through it.
Mine is social media at Miguel Fuller. You can find me on TikTok, Instagram, Peloton, and Be Real. We will see you all on Monday. Bye.
Miguel and Holly Uncensored.
Catch it on the iHeartRadio